Oh no. Oh, emotional damage. You not dodgeable.
Hello, and welcome to episode 171 of Rhythm Encounter, the RPG fan music podcast. I am your host, Mike Salbato, and today we are doing an episode that many of us have been waiting months to do. We are talking about Clair Obscur today. Definitely one of the best soundtracks of the decade? Definitely the year.
Of all time, Mike. Get it right.
I mean,
I was thinking it too.
Okay, that's fine. Like, I would make that claim, and if we're all on board with that, then yes.
Oh, I definitely am.
I stand by it.
Cool. Okay. I was hedging a little. I didn't need to. Anyway, yeah. So with me today, as you briefly heard now, are three wonderful people, starting with Hilary.
Hi.
Zach is here.
I am. Hello.
Hello. Visiting us from Retro Encounter Land. That would be your theme park if Retro Encounter had a theme park.
Why doesn't Retro Encounter have a theme park?
Yeah, he should.
Yeah, I mean, how much money could it take to start a theme park?
Yeah,
really?
exactly.
Yeah, I mean, it could be part of the broader RPG fan theme park, retro.
Yeah, that'd be a good revenue
Retroland.
boost. Yeah.
Come on, Mike. You gotta have some money squirreled away for a theme park.
Yeah, my hidden millions.
Just find some defunct old rides.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
We can fix them up.
Do we make a roller coaster with like Solosi's face on it?
You would hate that so much.
Anyway, yes, Aleks, also welcome.
Bonjour.
Thank you all for being here. We're all very excited about this. Paul also wanted to be part of this, but we had so much interest in this topic, and I try to keep it at 4. So I'm going to try to get him back for Music of the Year, because there's probably a good chance this will end up in Music of the Year.
Thank you,
So-
Paul.
Isn't this just the Music of the Year episode? I mean, we don't need any else.
It'll be interesting. You know, we don't like repeating on Music of the Year. So like this game will have one song on there. And I'm like, how are we going to pick just one? That'll be difficult.
We're gonna go by the stuff that's already been.
Yeah.
picked.
Yeah, Music of the Year can just be eight more songs.
Right. So before we talk about our topic today, we are going to talk about what we've been listening to. If anyone's been listening to anything except this lately, does anyone want to go first?
I mean, besides this, and I've been listening to this a lot for the last, when did this come out? March? So 8 months. I've been listening to the Silk Song OST a lot too. It's good music to work to. It's a great game, great soundtrack. It would definitely be my game of the year if it wasn't for some other game that came out. So yeah, that's what I've been listening to.
How about you, Aleks?
Well, definitely in the last just 2 weeks, just re-listening to this soundtrack. I really was into it when it first came out. I mean, I'm still into it, but it was really taking up a lot of my music time when it came out, like revisiting it. And personally, I'm not like somebody, like I love video game music. It's one of my favorite parts of a lot of games, but I'm not usually someone who listens to the OSTs outside of actually playing, with a few exceptions. And this was definitely one of those exceptions. So yeah, really excited to talk about it. Other than that, though, I mean, I guess I've been listening to D'Angelo's 3 albums. He died like about a month ago, and I'm a big fan of like that neo soul movement that kind of revolved around him and Erykah Badu. So just revisiting his albums in the wake of his death, all classics. Would highly recommend checking them out if nobody's heard them before.
Okay. Great. Hilary?
Well, actually, Erykah Badu reminded me of a collab she did with Janelle Monáe, who I have been listening to recently. I listened to her a lot for a while, and then took a break, and recently have been enjoying her music again.
Janelle Monáe is so good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
At everything.
Yep,
It makes
yep.
you mad.
It makes you mad. And then she puts it in her songs. It makes you even madder.
Yeah.
Well, I've mostly also been listening to this soundtrack lately. ever since we finished the game. If I'm not playing it, I'm watching someone stream it. And if I'm doing neither, then I have the music going in the car. It's exactly what I did with Undertale, where I'm like, I didn't want to listen to it before playing. But once I finished the game, I just went all in and listened to like Undertale remixes and everything for weeks.
With this game, that is probably smart sometimes.
Yes.
Yeah, but both this and Undertale like really benefit from the context around the music and both them just brilliantly integrate like music in their storytelling.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
I actually found like just a couple days ago, I didn't even listen to it yet, that there was someone on Bandcamp who did like a small like piano arrange album for this game. So I gotta listen to that too. You listened to some of it, didn't you, Hilary?
A tiny bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's it. We actually started listening. I keep forgetting that Florence and the Machine released a new album earlier this month, and I have not listened to it, and I feel like a bad fan. So that'll be maybe later today.
Fake fan.
We listened to the title track so far, which was good.
Yeah, yes. All right, cool. Are we ready to talk about Clair Obscur then?
Yeah.
Always.
Oh, jinx.
Okay, 2 quick things before we get started, and then Hilary, you can introduce your first track. First off, there will be spoilers. I will say that right now. We don't want to spoil too much, but there's some tracks that several of us picked that were like, we would have to limit what we say way too much to not have any kind of spoilers. I can't promise what's going to happen in the first 4 tracks, but I think most of that will be in the second half of the episode, at which point I will do another spoiler warning. If you've played the game like we have, and like I'm sure a lot of our listeners have, you'll understand why we want to be able to talk about some of these characters and songs. So yes, just be warned. And then besides that, just because we have some particularly long tracks today, Zach, we're actually, instead of doing our standard blocks, we're going to go one song at a time. All of that aside, Hilary, what is our first track we're listening to?
So we are getting started today with the Manor Are Painted Family. And if anyone wants to help me with pronunciation, because I don't want to butcher the composer.
Why are you looking at me?
Am I
Is it Lorien Testard?
Yep.
That sounds right.
Yeah,
that
that's
sounds
pretty good.
pretentious enough.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we'll go
That's
with
much better, Zach, than your previous attempt at French
Hey
accent.
now.
So now that we've all enjoyed that lovely kind of background music, but not really, let's get into why I picked it. One thing I really love in games is things that are kind of out of place, but also really pretty, and you don't know why they're there. And if you're me, you just get really curious, like, why is this really cool thing here? I need to know the whole story. And that is exactly what the Manor did. It's not super spoilery, but before too long, after you reach the continent, you find a door, and through it is just this strange, really beautiful kind of manor, big mansion with a bunch of closed doors, which is like a recipe for sparking my interest. The music that plays there just builds that ambiance so well. Like, I love the percussion and how quietly it starts. It feels like a vast empty space, but also it has slight fancy office vibes. I would say.
Yeah, yep.
Which I appreciate. It sort of implies kind of that, I would say, like maybe a little bit of high society kind of thing. And I'd say mostly in the piano part. And I really adore the triplet rhythms in this track too, throughout in the melody. I find them very, very catchy. And the vocal accents are just really fun too.
Yeah, I'm really glad you brought this track, because I actually don't think that it's been officially released anywhere.
Yep.
So I haven't listened to it a bunch, but I obviously did for this. And, you know, everything in this, it's like this really beautiful melody, but like these synths that are just slightly off, and this sort of like odd syncopation with the drums.
Yep.
And like these slight chimes in the background, like everything feels like a little like I don't know how to describe it, but like it's like a little bit off at times, but like in still a really beautiful way. So it's like it's communicating that mystery that you have when you're in the manor. Like it's beautiful, but like you're like trying to figure it out, and like the song feels like it just can't quite resolve itself. It's just like a little bit off, and like it feels. It really, I think, enhances like the mystery, and it feels like these like distant chimes, like it's almost like a memory at the same time. I mean, in context of the game, this all makes sense too, right? So, yeah, I think it's a really beautiful track.
Yeah, and I think those triplet rhythms also go some way toward that kind of off-kilterness, because you have to da-da-da-da-da.
Yeah.
It's sort of like you're falling or stumbling a little bit. I like it.
Yeah. I really like your comment about how it like can't quite resolve itself.
Yep.
I didn't really think about that, but that's so true. That fits so well.
I also love the first comment on the YouTube video you guys linked, which is just shout outs to all my homies who sat in the manor for far too long because this banger was irresistible. And I think it's just like a testament to what makes like a good hub song, because the manor is kind of your hub in this game.
Yeah.
That you return to throughout. And so like a good hub song, like no matter what like genre it's tapping into or what it's going for musically, like it needs to be like pretty like vibey without being too pronounced. Like it has to work as like nice background music that can just loop over and over again. I feel like this song I could just like put the controller down, do some stuff around the house, and have this on in the background, and it's very nice. And it in terms of like hub music, excuse me, it kind of reminds me a bit of like the End of Time and Chrono Trigger, and just like feeling like a sort of mysterious, almost really good liminal space.
Yeah,
liminal space. I love that.
Yeah, it's kind of because it is like kind of detached from the setting in a way. I won't get into too much of that, but like I just think it captures that context super well. And yeah, like you mentioned, Hilary, that like that vocalish accent that like comes in like every couple, I don't know, like 20 seconds or so, like that is the icing on the cake for me.
It
like
is.
Yeah, it just like elevates the song to another level, even though it's such a minor touch.
I found myself doing like a little shoulder shuffle every time, like every so often. It's so good.
It's funny too, because like I'm not sure. I realized this as I was listening. There's like a little touch of this song in Une Vie, Piandra, which is like the final boss music. And it's like the song itself, like you could hear it like sort of vocalized around like the 3:30 part. I was listening to it and I'm like, this sounds familiar because I've listened to that track a bunch. And I like the way that obviously like in any video game you're going to hear similar melodies sort of throughout, but like the way that Testard sort of weaves them in and out, I think it's very thematically appropriate for that fight. And for the manor, and just like for the family and everything else. I think it's really interesting.
That's a good catch.
Yeah, for sure.
Because it fits with that idea and that path.
Yeah,
it's so hard not to talk about context.
Yeah, but it's also cool how the manor is like you first go to it like without any context. You're like you have no idea what to even like think of this place at first, other than it's just music kind of like giving you this mysterious sort of vibe that just gets you thinking like how this could possibly be connected to the rest of the game. You're like, how could this possibly connect? It turns out to be a pretty crucial point. But I like how it's initially introduced without context, and that just really helps with the storytelling later on.
Yeah, and I love how the music is sort of like unapologetic about that. Like musically, this is a slightly different genre from a lot of the other stuff you will hear around, like on the continent or in the game. Not totally, but it's a little bit removed. And I think I have in my notes, it's almost like it's saying, yep, I'm here. I belong here. You're going to question why, though.
Yeah, right. No, I mean, everything about it really works with that, because, I mean, I remember, like, when we first found it, we're like, I don't know why this is here. And it's like, and it seems like at first, like, it fits only because so much of what you've seen at that point in the game, the first time you find it, is like, there's just weird stuff you see. You see stuff floating up here, you see lanterns everywhere. You're like, all right, like, you accept it's there, even if you don't know why. But I think all the themes in here, like, really complement, as you said, like, the elegance of it. But, like Aleks said about it being like, I forgot the word you used, about being like good, like kind of background
liminal
music.
space.
Yeah, well, just like, but the kind of sound it has that you want, so it doesn't like get old or get repetitive too much. But, like,
Yeah.
Like, I find it's like, it has this really nice sparseness that on top of everything else you guys said, it also really complements just the complete emptiness of the manor.
Yep.
Like this huge space, and every time you open a door, you're like, oh no, there's no one here. It's just this weird deserted feeling. It's so cool. I mean, every time we found another door, I'm like, oh, we get to hear the song again. So it was always something to look forward to as you like gradually find new rooms and start figuring out like, okay, this room might be for this. I mean, I don't know. I feel like I don't pick up on that stuff as quick as some people do. I don't feel like I knew what a lot of the rooms were till like way late in the game, which is probably when you're supposed to, but maybe you guys picked up on some of them earlier. I mean, it was actually just a few weeks ago when I finally stopped and really looked at the room with the train set, and I'm like, okay, I get it.
Emotional damage.
Right? I'm like, oh, that's what that is. But it's so satisfying, you know, like when you figure out what most of the rooms are for and whose they were. I'm like, oh man, yeah, good track. I figured the manor would be on this episode somewhere, so thank you for that. It is weird that this wasn't released in like the soundtrack so far. I know it's on their YouTube, so it's not good.
Apparently, all the Manor related tracks, like there's 5 of them. Testard came out and said like he's working on a project with them, and he wants to release them in some other fashion. We don't know what that is yet, but that's why he's held them.
Exciting.
Interesting. I mean, they are on the CD release coming next year,
right?
So there is that too. Yeah, it's very cool.
We will get them, and hopefully in a cool new form.
Yeah.
Too.
Oh, I didn't hear about that. Now I'm curious. I wonder if it's at all related to an area on the world map that has a similar building that otherwise seemingly does nothing else.
Yeah, well, we know there's DLC coming. It's free, so it might be related to that.
Yeah.
Neat.
All right, are we ready to venture underwater?
Mm-hmm.
Let's dive in.
All right, so my first track today is one of the songs from Flying Waters. This is Flying Waters Goblu, once again by Lorien, and one of many songs today that have been either co-composed or co-composed and featuring vocals by Alice Duport-Percier. One thing I really love about this game, early on, like your first two main areas you get to, I mean, outside of the prologue, are Spring Meadows and Flying Waters. And just in terms of their atmosphere and just how like they're like extreme like fantasy feeling, I just consider them like top tier, like area design, atmosphere, everything. And I think it's one of those things that like one of those moments where it really hit me what was going on in this game, because just the feeling of them and their music, everything about these early areas, I usually associate with really late game areas in RPGs. I'm like, how are we starting with something so interesting as you go in this area that you, I guess, are underwater? You are underwater, but you're walking around and you're breathing. I'm like, I don't know.
You were in some air that is under some water. And then it's
One of my
you.
notes is this goes unreasonably hard for a early dungeon. So yes.
Yeah. And this is one of the battle themes, which is another, like, I mean, how many battle themes are there in the game? Every area has several, and I remember getting into fights here and I'm like, how and why is this a battle theme? I was not prepared for this. It's so cool. It's so like ethereal and minimal, and I wish I'd picked up on this specific thing on my own, but I saw it in a comment on YouTube. But someone mentioned that like some of the sound effects in there sound like sonar.
I was gonna say that.
Oh, good, yeah.
I dubbed in the sonar accents.
I mean, I noticed the sounds. I'm like, oh, right, that's what that is. That's why it's very neat. It's a very neat touch.
Yes.
And it like moves between your like left and right ear also.
Yep.
Like
It's
in
very
the lower
binaural.
part and the higher one. It's super nice.
It's just all of that like really captures, of course, the underwater feel. Really neat. And then unless your battles are finishing way too soon, you probably are in there for at least 2 minutes, and around the 2-minute mark is when these awesome vocals come in, and just like takes the song like somewhere else. And the flow and the rhythm of this song really just fits so well with like the flow and rhythm of the combat. So I'm like, I wasn't prepared for this shift, but I'm like, oh, it really works. It like gets you, if you're in a longer battle like that, it kind of like adds some energy and like gets you going. For me, it's one of the best like early game examples of how every component of this game works so well together.
Yeah, I think that like the layering in this song is really fascinating to me, and like the way it layers as it goes. You know what I mean? So you've got like those vocals, but then like it becomes like this almost like chanting vocals later, and they still kind of keep the vocals like the earlier like da 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 sort of underneath the sort of like tribal almost chanting, but like there's almost like tribal drumming and like the reverb on the percussion. Like it feels so layered, and also like it feels like it's happening like at the end of a tunnel at the same time. And this track feels like very distinct in the soundtrack in general to me, because of it just the way that it evokes the space so well. Like I could have heard this song, you know, without any context and been like, oh, this feels like it's underwater, even outside of like the sonar element of it. And like the wavy synth sounds almost. Like it's just such a beautiful track, along with like the way, as you mentioned, like it builds. Like it's a weird boss theme, but like in a really good way. I don't know. I like this song a lot.
Yeah, I think I have in my notes that it has a kind of like the binauralness of it, but also it has a kind of like warped effect that does really make you feel like you're underwater too. I have to draw a comparison to my favorite other chill battle track, which is Waterfall from Kudelka. If any of you have ever listened to that, it's kind of a similar, you're similar, like, wait, why is this a battle theme? Oh, I like it. It works. Kind of thing going on.
Yeah, I feel like when a video game composer is tasked with making like an underwater theme, they always make sure you know it's an underwater theme, and they really achieve that with this as well. This is like an early game track, and I already loved the soundtrack before getting to here, but I think what really impressed me with Flying Waters' whole kind of soundtrack was just how versatile. Like I realized this game's OST was also going to be beyond like just kind of like that classical music feeling. Like there's a lot of like electronic influences in all of Flying Waters' songs that I think makes it work really well, and the mixing that they do here really gives this song and the other songs in Flying Waters a pretty unique identity. I also love that like little subtle flittering in the background. I don't know if you caught it. It's like it's so quiet, but it's so nice. It's like almost like a propeller working underwater almost.
With that
It's
really
super
light
nice.
trill almost.
Yeah. And yeah, just the fact that like at that 2-minute mark, like you just suddenly get like kind of African inspired musical influences is just like they didn't need to do that, but I'm so glad they did because man, it works so well.
It really does.
I also enjoy this track a lot because it comes at a point in the game, or at least it did for me, where it feels just like you've hit you're starting to understand what the continent is, and you get rewarded with the prettiest area in the game, in my opinion. I love flying waters, and this music, kind of nice.
Yeah, that and Fallen Leaves, that's beautiful too. Yeah, I don't know. There's a lot of I would agree. Yeah,
it's hard to pick.
Yeah.
If not the prettiest, extremely unique.
Yes.
I originally set up all these tracks thinking in case we did do our usual 2-block format, like I had those two together because I like the kind of calming vibes of them. And the next two are also a little more high energy, we'll say. So our next track today, and I'm so excited about this one, it's one of my favorites, is Monoco. I guess it is his character theme, but like this is specifically when you first meet him and fight him.
Yeah, like those first couple seconds when it goes wow, 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 you're like, what is possibly gonna happen? And then it just like it all unravels from there.
Right? Like this was, I can't list all of the times that this game made me stop and like appreciate something it did, because it's every area, it's almost every song, every character has moments. I mean, it's a constant thing, But this one, like, you meet Monoco. Monoco's the last character you get, and I'm like, at this point, I'm far enough in that, like, I think I have a pretty good handle on what this soundtrack is. There's a lot of variety anyway, but just to make sure that I don't feel too comfortable, then we get a bunch of jazz. Okay, well, I'm just going to stop assuming I know anything here, which is honestly a good way of playing this game in general.
I don't mean to interrupt, but there is an interesting little through line, actually, which is part of the reason I appreciate this soundtrack so much. And I didn't catch it until I listened to some of the other music again. But the gesturals in general are pretty jazzy. Like Golgra has a little bit of,
yeah.
I think, alto sax again.
Yep. All right. So remember when I said I took all my preconceived notions and threw them out the window when I got to this? I'm now taking all my notes that I wrote for the song and throwing them out the window. No, I actually just, that was one of the main things I wanted to talk about. I only realized that recently too. I'm like, oh, this is so different. I wasn't prepared for it. But then I go back and listen to more of the gestural based music, like in the forest, in the village, the fights, and I'm like, oh no, there is some similarities here. Like one of the battle themes in the it's not called the gestural forest. What's it called? The forest around the village. When you're fighting like the sakapatats and stuff like that, those battle themes are so much fun. And there is some of that here, but I didn't really piece it together until recently because obviously of what Monoco is. It's so good. I mean, this probably is not a hard fight. I think one, I maybe was not playing the game properly, but two, I just kept stopping and listening to the music. So I'm like, I did die a couple times here, and I'm like, well, what are you gonna do? I'll just listen to it again. It was just so cool. And of course, right before this, you do have some dialogue, and that's when I think it's right before the fight, right, when Monoco introduces himself and he's trying to be all suave and then hits himself with his belt. I'm like, okay, that's what we're doing here. What a great character introduction all of that is, along with this.
Fabulous.
I actually have in my, I'm sorry I keep interrupting you.
No.
I actually also have my notes. I think it's at the end. This is the musical equivalent of "There'll be lots of fighting. Count me in then."
Yeah.
Oh,
Well, yeah, that sequence, because he's like, so where are you going? He's like, I'm going to do this. He's like, okay, bye. And their Verso and Monoco's dialogue is always so good.
yeah.
Yeah, Monoco in general is just such a breath of energy and like
Yep.
a very melancholic game with like a cast with serious traumatic problems, and like this song has such a like bursting confidence to it that really reflects his character. And beyond that, I also think like just like the premise of the song alone, I feel like this is Lorien and Testard just being like, you know what, I could have made the Persona 5 soundtrack. Like, it's just really channeling, I feel, his love for that OST and like making his own entry into it almost. And man, just the movements in this for just being under 3 minutes, it doesn't feel like it's like an under 3 minute song because of how much happens in it. There's like the dueling saxes and the transitions, which kind of like makes me think of like Verso and Monoco's like friendship rivalry. They're like they like represent in the saxes. They're like dueling each other, and that keyboard solo segment especially just really reminds me of Persona
So fun.
5.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love
And
that run.
I love it because there are some sax runs near the end where they're not dueling. They're like descending runs together. It's so good. It's like they're agreeing on something.
Yeah, the sax is just like so smooth throughout too, but like, you know, like sort of that industrial jazz feeling underneath it. Like I think some of it gets to like the crunchiness of his character too. You know what I mean? It's and like how he always wants to be so smooth. There's that crunchiness underneath where he's kind of a doofus at the same time. Like I think it just I'm not even usually like a huge jazz fan, but like it's just like so almost like sultry and fun, and like you guys have said most of what my notes said, which is great. It's the bass is really cool. One thing I think is interesting is, do you guys know that Monoco is named after a dog?
Yes.
And I think that beginning, like that bow wow, I'm like, that's gotta be the sound of like a dog. Like I think that's what they're going for there.
That's fantastic. Isn't Monoco the dog credited too?
Yes.
Okay.
He's the dog who you see all over the manor.
Yeah.
Yeah, in the portraits.
But isn't he Sandfall's like happiness? Happiness agent or something like that.
Something like that. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, that's so good. And thank you for shouting out the bass line, because I wanted to do that.
Yeah, especially at that part where like the song really like smooths out. There's like a lot of like light touches on the cymbals, and the bass is kind of just like just doing its thing, like kind of just interspersed. It's man.
Yeah, I'm guessing with how much you guys have played, you also found it, but it was actually, I think, after we finished the main story that I even heard about the Monoco room.
It's funny because I don't think I found it in my first playthrough, but Alana, when she was playing through it, like she's always much more thorough than I am. She found it, and of course she was very excited about the Monoco room because she likes dogs a lot. But yeah, it just, again, one of the nice like this game is just so full of love for the medium and like these touches. It's such a good moment.
Yeah, I mean that room and just the items and stuff you find, and like it. I am someone who, when I go and playing a game that I like, I want to explore. I'm like, I'm going to go look around that corner. I'm going to look under this rock. I'm going to look anywhere I can. And every single time you do that in this game, there's something to find. It's so satisfying. But yeah, Aleks, would you like to introduce your first song?
Yeah, for sure. So my first pick is from the Forgotten Battlefield, and it is the Dualliste boss fight.
Victor
So yeah, I really like how you paired this with Monoco, because I feel like these are like Monoco is the game at its most lighthearted, and this song is like the game at its most like absolutely menacing. Like if Sephiroth had a favorite song on this OST, it would definitely be this. I feel like this would be
Yeah.
on his playlist, music to stab ancients to. I just like it really reminds me of like One Winged Angel in some ways, with like kind of the low sharp like cello strings going on, a very like choir like vocal arrangement, has this menacing quality, but it's like almost like a sophisticated kind of menacing.
Yes.
And those layered vocal tracks are just so nice and like create such a like yeah evil choir like atmosphere. I also just like love this boss fight. It really reminds me of like a fight that would be in like a Souls game. Like this guy, especially in his
Pontiff
second
Sullivan.
phase, is big Pontiff Sullivan energy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
But yeah, in terms of just like kind of the musical components, it like goes through like so many different movements that has like this sort of blending of almost reverent kind of beauty with this chaotic insanity to it. There's these harpsichords kind of coming in early on, just to like kind of give it that more like classy aristocratic sort of feel I was describing. It's then kind of lightens up with like removing the bass and kind of like having a more like kind of epic feel to it, and then like that breakdown comes in with the acoustic guitar and piano, which is like such an unexpected element to like and like kind of contrast to the pure evil of the first part. And it's really just like a common trope in this game's battle music, I feel, to have that sort of breakdown that's almost like more light and ethereal kind of. But I feel like this is one of the best examples of it. I absolutely love the breakdown partway through this.
There's such a big contrast.
Yeah. And then like right after that, like you get this kind of uplifted beauty, and then boom, you're right back in with like that first motif, like heavier than ever, with like, and then it's like tubular bells or something are added in there. You're like right back in the meat grinder, and it's like how is this not a final boss like this music? Like just a really cool track.
Yeah. It almost sounds like a requiem. Like it reminds me of movements of Mozart's Requiem, except for it's got like sort of like those heavy drums in there, sort of driving it forward at the same time. But it definitely feels like the sort of thing that I would see like by candlelight in a church. And yeah, you've stole almost every single one of my notes, Alex. So thank you for that. But yeah, I mean, I'm a sucker for like the gets quiet, and then we'll talk about this later, and then comes back with that big operatic. Really deep vocals. It's and like at that point in the game, it's almost like your low point, right? I mean, you think about again, I don't want to get too specific in spoilers here, but like everything that's just happened in that area, right before that area, and it's also, I think, the first really challenging main boss. I struggled with this fight. I struggled with a lot of the fights in this game, but I didn't mind because I just came back to the music over and over again. It was all good.
Yeah, and the fact that it's a two-phase fight.
Yeah.
You know, you have that like, is it over? Oh no, he's got a second sword. Okay.
Oh my god, that one. Yeah, I struggled with that one too, and I'm like, okay, I finally got him. And I'm like, damn it.
Yeah.
That was another thing I think. Aleks was onto something that Sephiroth would like this song.
Yeah.
I think he would like that too, because he'd be like, what else could I do? It's like, oh, two swords.
Yeah.
Why haven't I done that?
One thing I want to add about the choir is I really appreciate, like, in the beginning portion of the song, how Lorien's not afraid to let the choir kind of breathe. And I just think that choir part is so pretty and so effective, partially because there's that section with not a lot around it, but it just feels like it has a lot of impact for me because of that.
Yeah, and like having it slow down like that much really just puts an accent on like the evil part like coming back in, and there being like a second phase to the fight on top of that. I feel really complements that, and yeah, it's just a perfect like kind of like epic brutal fight.
Yeah, I mean, this was definitely the biggest up to this point in the game anyway, like biggest difficulty spike. But yeah, and at that point, like I had convinced myself that it was going to be easier to dodge than parry just because it was a bigger window. So like obviously that puts you at a disadvantage. So that didn't help. That made it. I was making it harder on myself, and I didn't realize it at first.
You need to take Miles' advice.
I know. Well, I do now. But at this point in the game, I wasn't.
No, I mean, his HP was not going down fast at all.
Yeah, but no, I mean, just like you guys said, like the just the harshness, the harsh notes in this, and just the really dark feeling about it. It's so effective, and the writing, it sets this up so well, because you get to the area and Verso's like, oh yeah, there's like there's like one Nevron that like killed all of these people, and you're like, oh, well, I hope it's not here. And just and like even when you get towards the end, he's like, yeah, I guess he's not around anymore. Oh, no big deal. But you know it is.
Yeah, you know that's the boss.
So you go through this whole area, like there's like this sense of dread in the back of your head, like that thing is going to be here wherever it is. And sure enough, it shows up and then plunges you down into like this bloody water cavern full of bodies. You're like, oh, this isn't going to be good.
Yeah.
I mean, so like this is like the perfect music for like that.
And I know this is not really related to the music, but I love how this game is willing to just like go for it. Like the end of this fight is just like so fun and so epic and so cinematic. And I like how like this game, and there are reasons for it, like it doesn't really care about reality sometimes. And it's so satisfying, especially given how dark the story is at that moment in time, that it's like, oh, like this, like the way this game manages and balances tone is so cool and fun.
Yeah, and to have the music throughout the entire stage support that, because I mean I just love Forgotten Battlefields, like every song in that whole section of the game. Like the main even battle theme for Forgotten Battlefield, Over the Fallen, like was another one of my like high potential picks for this episode, with those like kind of shredding violins. Just like, yeah, sets the tone so well. Just supports how much this game is able to create like a story through its music with every single stage. Like, yeah, this is probably like my favorite like stage wide like kind of run of tracks, maybe along with the water stage.
If you don't mind me inserting another like comment that I saw that was really funny, and multiple people made it, were comments about how Clair loves Soulsborne music because of the Dualliste and this music.
Oh, I'm sure she does.
Clair would totally be like a no summons level 1 run.
Yes.
She would be like the summon outside of Millennia, like let me solo her. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
All right, I guess we're ready to switch over to you, Aleks.
Yeah, so this is going to be another character theme, and that is for Verso.
Hey everyone, this is Mike from the editing room, which is why I may sound a little different. I'm just here to give you one more spoiler warning for the episode. In my original take that I recorded when we did this episode, I said to expect spoilers. But now that I am in the future in which I have heard the entire episode, I can confirm that these spoilers are indeed abundant throughout the next 4 songs and their discussion. So I actually am redoing this because I want to confirm that yes, they are there and you should proceed with caution. Normally we try to avoid spoilers on Rhythm Encounter, but in this case we felt it was necessary just to allow for open discussion of these songs, so we appreciate your understanding. And with that, I will pass the show back over to a version of Aleks from the past to continue.
So yeah, this is one that always gets me in my feelings a bit. Like a lot of RPGs have a lot of just banger heavy epic tracks with complex arrangements. I mean, we just listened to one on the track before this, but I think this is the first like just solo piano track since like Final Fantasy X that I can remember just that being like one of my favorite songs, and I think this is even quite a bit better than Tazanarkand. It's probably my most listened to track on the playlist, on the OST. I'm not sure if I'd say it's my favorite. That's pretty hard, but this is like one of the most beautiful solo piano tracks I think I've heard outside of classical music, and I just got a lot of personal attachment to this track as well. I used to play piano, and this is kind of the track that I've listened to since that really makes me wish I still knew how to play it, because that was like when I was a teenager. My teacher retired, and I never ended up finding a new teacher, and I really would like to learn this. Maybe I will one day. Yeah. But also like Verso, like when I was playing through this game, when I finished it, he like quickly became like one of my favorite video game protagonists. I think Arthur Morgan from Red Dead 2 is the only one that holds a candle in terms of just like depth and nuance and performance, even though he's like basically one of 3 protagonists in the game. Yeah, I think like this is just a track just beyond kind of just being very beautiful to listen to. Has like a real like tragic element to it, has like a really strong connection to his character, both like in terms of, I mean, we're getting into the spoiler section here, right? But yeah, so Verso is actually kind of 2 characters. There's the painted Verso, which is the one we play as, and then there's the real Verso who had died long before the events of the game. And he was a kind of a piano prodigy, so the fact that this is just a solo piano track that also doesn't have any vocals to it, I think is very telling. And very intentional. And just like the movements of this song, it like kind of begins with this call and response in the high register going on with those like very, very high notes, like kind of dinging, ding, ding, that almost feel like detached from like the rest of the arrangement. There's like a real like sense of fragmentation and incompleteness to the composition here, which works super well for Verso as a character. The left hand and right hand parts kind of feel like they're working at the same time, like separately and together, which like shows like this tension between these two versions of Verso, essentially, is how I see it. And I love that middle segment where the right hand is just kind of running wild, like there's like a sense of like restlessness and running that I think is very much tied to his characterization. And then the ending kind of like returns to that starting melody, but those high notes are no longer present, which I kind of see as like the, one version of Verso is no longer there. And the one that's left is like just incomplete. He painted Verso's not a full person, and he realizes that, and that becomes like a major kind of narrative thrust at the very end. And then the real Verso, on the other hand, did not get to live an actual like complete life. So yeah, a lot of feelings with this song. It's kind of the song I keep going back to when I just want to remind myself like how this game made me feel.
Yeah, and
I don't think you're allowed on rhythm with me anymore, Aleks, because I do this thing where like I cross out like things when people say like,
Yes.
and I just crossed out 7 different things, and I had 7 things. But yeah, I think the only thing, I mean, I think that there's sort of like this searching almost with the unresolved nature of like the 2 hands, as you were talking about. And like, I'm not sure if you guys noticed this, but like when you are going to the final dungeon, you see like that ghostly version of Verso when he's playing this, but like, and it's really beautiful. And you know, like that at like that 145 mark, there's sort of like this run that almost sounds like the sort of thing that like a kid would be doing when they're like practicing and learning piano at the same time. Like it's for a track that seems so simple in many ways. I think that you discussed it very well, Aleks. So it's it's
thank
great.
you. I think it's fitting, and I'm happy that you got to go into the piano details, Aleks, having played. But I noticed a lot of those similar things too, with like the two hands. But I also just like, probably because of one of the endings, we'll go into specifics, like I kept picturing and like going back to how this song would feel to perform. And there was really, really like the complexity of it is like, it definitely feels like the most meaty piano in the soundtrack that I could pick out. So there was something satisfying about that too for Verso. I like that for him.
I do love that, everything you guys have talked about, like how so much of it sounds like just a simple melody, but like there's so much to it, and like the further you play, the more you understand what's going on with the song and the more meaning it has behind it, which is just so amazing. Also, I just, I don't feel like we have enough video game characters who play instruments and stuff like that. So when you first learn, it's like, oh yeah, I play piano. I'm like, well, that's cool. Like sometimes you'll hear that. I wasn't expecting it to then like play into his theme, into the story. And even like in that, there's a camp scene where he's like, oh, I'm just going to make this piano and play. And I'm like, this is so great. I love that it's really, really, truly part of his character, and you get to see it and hear it. And yes, I also don't need to talk about the opera house and the endings now. So I crossed out a little bit, not as much as you, Zach.
I also just want one more thing I'll add is that I don't know if you guys caught it, but there's like a slowed down, even more fragmented version of the main melody here that appears in the Old Lumiere's kind of main level track, When the Dust Settles. And that name, like When the Dust Settles, like together with the reuse of that motif makes like Old Lumiere feel like it's long been this central location of grief for the real Verso, which it is, and which actually is a really nice segue into the next song.
That's true.
Yeah.
All right, Zach. I'll give a little bit of context ahead of time. Zach was trying to get me to listen to this months and months before I played the game. And was like, hey, this song is good. You should listen to this. Also, it should be on rhythm, even though it's too long. And I should have given you credit at the top of the episode, but the whole reason we did put this episode on schedule, Zach, was because of you. And I knew you wanted this song. So why don't you tell us what it is, and then we'll get into
Everybody
it.
wants this song, right?
Yeah.
Yes. But you really made a case for it.
Yeah, I when I first got to so for the record, listeners, the song is Une Vie Entame. Une Vie Entame. I don't know, man.
Une Vie Entame.
There you go. Thanks, Aleks. Yeah, and I'll say more about it after we listen.
chaque éclat, son doux rire, dans chaque couleur, son sourire. Si nos pulsations jouent contre le temps, mon amour reste à temps. répandre la vie, pleurer en couleur. Sur la toile, notre vie s'écrit. Adieu.
So, on Vie and Tame, like it's, I like to kind of usually zoom in on songs when I talk about them, and I usually take copious notes as I'm preparing, and I really didn't for this song because there are so many things to talk about with it. It's an 11-minute song, which is actually part of a longer 33-minute song that gets broken up and used in a variety of places throughout the game. And this track actually, as it appears on the soundtrack, doesn't actually appear in game. There is a version of it. It's similar, very similar, that appears during the second Renoir fight. But in terms of this track, I think that the thing that struck me as I was preparing for it is, I mean, obviously it's like this big mashup of a variety of genres, like prog rock, classical, all this other like stuff. But like it, as you know, the context, it moves like an argument between two people who love each other, and the vocals really get to that. I mean, Victor Borba, who he could sing, and like
he can scream.
Yeah, and like the melodies in this song are so beautiful, and the way it moves between the quiet and the loud, and it's just, the vocals are so passionate, and the violin solo is beautiful. But like, to me, as you look at the lyrics, it's not just about the conflict between real Renoir and real Aline, in terms of how do they process the grief of dealing with the death of Verso, but it also, in the context of the first fight where it appears, like it also was reflected in the conflict between Verso and Renoir as well. But it's just like it. I'm having a hard time talking about this song, even though I have so many things to say. It's so beautiful and also so passionate, and like every time it came on for the fight, I died to the Renoir fight a million times. And it was because of the song, I think. Yeah, I don't know. Other people probably have other things to say. I'll jump in, but I'm struggling to put my thoughts together on this.
I said a little bit about it, like how this ended up on the show earlier, but the other thing was, I remember when you told me or linked me to it a few times, you made sure to tell me every single time, do not look up the translation of the lyrics. Which is really good advice for the entire soundtrack.
Yes.
I made sure not to. I never did, Zach, so thank you on this song or anything else. Like there's some world map themes too. But I did look at them, and I think it's kind of interesting because the lyrics, like the story they tell, is like, it's so beautifully heartbreaking. But if you did read them or know like the French, I know there's French and like not real languages in some of these songs.
I think this one's just pure French.
This one. Yeah. But like, even if you knew it and heard all the lyrics right when this happens, I don't think you would still totally get it. So I think that's kind of interesting that like, it is really a big spoiler, but you still don't know why or the context yet, which is fascinating.
And I think, correct me if I'm wrong, but like they avoid kind of a similar pitfall with some of the other tracks because they use like very archaic French. So like, unless you're really, really paying attention and putting in a lot of effort, you don't really parse it together.
Yeah. But yeah, oh my God, this song, when you had me listen to it the first time, I was like, I loved it. It was great. I'm like, this is like such a fantastic song. I understand why Zach likes it. I didn't understand why you liked it. I thought I did, until we got here in the game. And then I got it. Because like it pulls in like so many familiar motifs and themes, so like that by the time you get to this point in the game, like you understand why it's all there. You have this paired with the dialogue in the fight and what's at stake and what you just learned like 1 second before this fight. It's like, oh my God, like everything about it hits so hard.
It's delivered at a very important moment in the plot.
Yeah, there's just something about like in any game, but like when you have this fight that one side or the other, in this case, really no one wants this fight. Like no one wants this to have to be the way it goes, but it has to be the way it goes. It just adds another layer of like, can't think of the word. It's just like it's so heavy.
I was thinking pathos, but I don't know if that's quite
Sure, right. Yeah. And like you, Zach, like, I mean, how many times, Hilary, did I die at this fight?
Yeah, it's the vanishing.
And yeah. I mean, the timing on that vanish is, you really have to practice that, and that ruins everything when he does it. But you know what? The thing is, like with any of the fights against him, like, it should be that hard. Mm-hmm. Like, if it wasn't, it would be a little disappointing. I've seen other people do it and like they were over leveled. My brother is actually playing the game now, and he's not at this point yet, but he did one of the Axon fights, and he's like, yeah, I guess I'm over leveled. I finished it in 3 turns. And I'm like, I'm glad on some of these that I struggled with them, because it added to the moment for me.
Yeah, it adds to the experience, kind of, at least to have enough of a struggle.
Yeah, because then you just get more into the motions of the music, if you are also kind of struggling.
Yeah.
But yeah, this seems to become like the song of the game, like both in terms of like its popularity, like just among like fans, and also like even according to like the Lorien Testard and the director Guillaume Broche. Like I was listening to like an interview with them, and like they have the exact same opinion of this song, that it's like, I think it's like one of the last songs recorded for the game, if I remember right, and it was kind of just written and intended to be like a mission statement for the game, and the lyrics like really tying into just all the themes and all like kind of the interpersonal conflicts between like love and grief that the game ultimately deals with, and then just on top of having like all this like kind of mixing of genres and one element I really like is like, because yeah, obviously there's the kind of argument kind of going on between the two vocalists, but even in like the second half of the song, there's like another kind of like dueling instrumentation between like the violin and the electric guitar, which electric guitar is like barely appears in the OST otherwise. And I kind of read that as like the violin being Aline and the electric guitar being Renoir, and they're kind of like dueling it out there, with the violin kind of preserving the vision of like the painting, while the guitar being like kind of this alien element in the soundtrack is like trying to tear it down, which is ultimately Renoir's intention.
Interesting. Yeah, and that's a really effective use of genre blending. It's really cool. And I was actually going to shout out particularly a violin part that I really liked, which is like, it's during one of the interludes without the singing, but it's this really windy like violin part.
Yes, that's my favorite part. Just the shredding with like the time signature switch ups. That I love that in the fight. Yeah.
Yeah, it's good.
I think it's really neat that if this was one of the, it makes sense, right? That it might have been completed later, but that actually is a good contrast with my other pick, which I'll talk about later.
Oh, okay. Yeah, man. I mean, I don't know that much about Victor Borba besides the fact that he's like a metal singer. I actually just looked it up while you guys were talking. Like, I didn't realize he's Canadian, 2, he's self-taught. So I don't know much of his stuff besides this, and he did one of the songs in Devil May Cry. But what a great choice! Like just
that
the
makes
few
so
times,
much sense.
Right? Like the few times he shows up on the soundtrack, he's just phenomenal.
And like, some of those like vocal harmonies in this they are very metal.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
I definitely like the main kind of chorus part. I think that's where you get the most metal, because with the rhythm, it's very much like slow headbang, kind of.
Hilary was actually headbanging as she said that, just to give you guys the visual. Yeah,
it's so easy to get into that during that section.
Yeah,
I mean, I think that the way that the vocals match is fascinating, because
Yeah.
Duport-Percier is like a classically trained opera singer, right? And so you can, and she never really goes that full vibrato throughout, but like you can hear like the idea of like a real like a metal singer and an opera singer, and like the way their voices harmonize, especially when they say the two names.
Yes.
I think is really, really beautiful.
I love it so much.
Yeah, I think that's but I agree, like that shredding violin part is always like, that's like the beginning of the fight in the fight version of it, and it's like, oh my gosh, it's so good.
I almost ended the episode on that because of what's going on there, but I did want to end on these other two. Which again, all these four, I'm glad we have these four. They're all technically character themes, these last four songs. So I'm really happy that Hilary, you and Zach brought on these other two, because I couldn't pair these two or put these two anywhere besides with each other. So if we're ready, if we can compose ourselves and move on, are you ready for your next track, Zach?
I am. So the next track that I'm bringing is the one that you would hear on the menu, which is Alicia. So, I brought two of the most obvious tracks. I'm good for that on rhythm. Alicia is the track that I think almost everyone's heard. I think that there's some version of it even on the launch trailer that I still remember where I was when I watched it. But I think that sort of thinking of as Alicia as like almost like a main theme. Like, while everyone talks about Une Vie Tame, like obviously Alicia is the song that you hear the most because you just sit on the menu on your PS5 like I do, just to listen to it over and over again. But this track is just like so beautiful, and it establishes the tone of the game so well for what it's going to be. And I think that it's really important because like you've got like the vocals are like almost like, I think searching is a word I use a lot when I'm describing the songs here, but I think it's accurate here too, where she's kind of trying to search for who she is, what's going on, and I think that the time switch, which there is between like sort of like the two different vocal sections, is really interesting for that. And like she kind of like has like this melancholic feel where it's like sort of underneath, and like she goes up with like a slight hope right before the time switch, and then it goes to 4/4 from 6/8, and like it's like even at the end, like she's not resolved. And I think that in a game where there is not one clear resolution for what Alicia or Maëlle is going to do or should do, or what the right thing to do for her is, like you get the sense that like things aren't going to go well for whoever this character is, and you don't know who Alicia is for a long time as you're playing. But the cello solo section in this, which we'll talk about cello again with the next track, I think is just like really beautiful, and really it gets to that melancholy really well. And I think that one of the things that Testard does a lot, we talked about this with Une Vie, is like the way he time switches the musical time. And I think that the way he manages to do that so frequently, it gets to, I think, the uncertainty of a lot of these characters and a lot of these feelings. I love this track.
Yeah, this was one of those title screens where like you boot up the game, the music kicks in, you're just looking at it and you're like, oh man, this game's gonna be a masterpiece. And it ended up happening. It's like kind of like a thematic mission statement for the game, like just basically telling you up front, like, yeah, this game is going to include a lot of painful feelings, and that's kind of reflected in what we hear here. The vocal performance is just amazing. I think it's one of the best on the entire OST. All just like kind of the emotion through just the swelling of the kind of volume going up and down, kind of slowing down and speeding up. Like there's just like so much expression through that. And there's actually like two versions of the song ultimately, because the first one, Alicia, just the actual one that plays on the title screen, being more of that kind of archaic, fictionalized Latinish French. But then there's and that's the first track on the OST, but then the last track on the OST is Maëlle, which is a version with actual French lyrics that has more of the kind of spoilery elements and plays in the Maëlle ending, and the lyrics sort of signify this union of Maëlle and Alicia, which is, you know, maybe good, maybe bad, depending on your interpretation of that ending.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's interesting how that one is called Maëlle, with this one being called Alicia, because I almost feel like it's Maëlle winning over Alicia, because that version of the character, not the one connected to her real family, is the one who perseveres there, and that's when you get the real lyrics. And also it seems to confirm that the Lune Verso romance is canon in those in that real version, by the way.
Interesting.
Oh, I gotta look those lyrics up then.
Yeah, that like it's like something along the lines of like Lune and Verso are lying together is part of the lyrics in Maëlle.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I mean, our Verso ended up with CL because I didn't realize what was happening.
Yeah, same here.
I didn't know there was. I didn't know there was gonna
playthrough. I was like, I'm not doing that again.
I would like to see the other options, yeah, but I mean, I like the stuff with CL. I love CL.
Great guy.
But, okay, that's interesting. I did not know that.
Oh, now I'm just thinking back to Lune's expression at the end.
Oh God.
The Verso ending
felt so bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, the
sits down.
Lune death stare.
Yeah.
Woo.
Okay, just briefly while we're here talking about it, I think I already know for most of us, but just which ending did you all do?
Verso. Yeah.
Okay, I'm the outlier.
It took me a minute to decide, but I think I said this to you before, but I have not even watched the Maëlle ending. I'm like, I made my choice. I'm sticking with it.
I haven't watched it either, actually.
Oh my God.
A point. I know what happens because people talked about it, but
okay.
I've never watched it.
I mean, at this point, I think you can watch it.
No, I made a choice. I made a choice. I'm living with it.
Okay.
I'm never like that. It's like weird. I'm just so invested in this game.
I was going to say, we had a very kind of almost strange moment because we were not aligned on which one instinctively we wanted to go for, but we also both knew we were going to see both.
Yeah. I mean, I wanted to see both. Because, you know, in many games, there will be a good ending or a bad ending, or one that's better, or one that's like maybe canon. And like I didn't look anything up. We didn't know what the deal was, and I'm like, the first one we went with was Maëlle, and I'm like, wow, this is like really sweet in some respects, and also really horrible in others. But then that's true of them both. But that's just one of the great things. There is no. At that point, like, there's no way for everyone to just be happy.
No, there isn't.
So, I mean, both endings are great, I think.
And one thing that got pointed out that I wasn't thinking about, like when we chose, was that the MIL ending is the one way to potentially see Gustav again, which I guess some players were actually thinking about when that choice came up, which is interesting.
I wasn't at all. How long did we sit on that screen though, where you have to choose, and we're like, oh.
Even though I was pretty sure what I was gonna make the whole time, it was a good 5 minutes at least. Yeah.
Yeah.
I got up, I got a beer, I thought about it. I was like, oh, I need a drink for this. It's yeah. But yeah, I think that it's interesting that we're sort of toward the end here talking about Alicia, but I think the Alicia theme, talking about the endings, like that lack of resolution in the theme itself, I think is reflected in, like, there are no good choices. I think both choices are bad at the end of this game, but it's. I just think that there's a wistfulness to it that I just, even though I've heard this track a million times, like I still get emotional every time I listen to it.
Yeah, it really just, it's so good. This track is so good at illustrating like just the tragedy of her character, and I guess the cast so well. And it's one of those things, many moments in the game where things like kind of like click into place as you play, and like you have this. At first, it's a title track. It has like beautiful strings and the Alice's voice. It sets the tone for the game, and it does. And that would be enough. But then when you have all the context later and you listen again, I'm like, oh man, I love that. Like that is just a feeling we got so much with this game.
I think this is an absolutely inspired choice for the title screen music, because I was thinking about it. Like early on in the game, I was thinking that this song applied more to Painted Alicia, right? And it sort of changes as you gain information and as you go through the game. You kind of have a new lens every time, like you're going to that title screen, which is really, really neat.
Yep.
But also, I appreciate how versatile this theme is, like especially the melody. It gets incorporated a lot throughout other tracks and things like that. And I wanted to call attention to that as well, because it is emotionally all the things you described, but it's nice to see the nuance and how it gets incorporated into like in slightly different ways.
And the violin version of this is beautiful too, which is on like the bonus version of the soundtrack. It's great.
Yeah.
Right.
And I also think if we were doing blocks, we could absolutely call this the Alice block, because these two tracks just showcase her voice so beautifully, and just the detail here with, like you all said, the tempo and volume, and just she really gets it.
Yeah, she does.
And she brings so much depth to the song.
Yep.
So yeah, speaking of Alice, the track I am bringing on is Aline from the Orchestral sessions.
Sors et fuis, je t'en prie. Fuis ce tableau maudit, cette toile d'une fausse vie. Portrait rêvé, imparfait, chaîne de ta liberté. Alors tranchons la trame, découle la sinistre esquisse. Sors et fuis, je t'en prie. Fuis ce tableau maudit, cette toile d'une
So, first of all, I just want to mention that I wanted to represent the orchestral sessions that exist for this soundtrack somewhere in our selection today. So, and this was a good opportunity to do that. So I picked this song. If you haven't listened to them, they're beautiful. You really get the full orchestral experience, and they're really neat videos that go along with it, so you can actually see everyone performing, which is a really cool experience. So I highly encourage watching those if you like the music from this game.
Yeah, I'm going to put a link to that in the show notes.
And I think there's a playlist of it.
Yeah, I'm going to link to the playlist for all of them on Sandfall's channel. Yeah, they're really great.
They're awesome. So from what I understand, and I'm hoping that my sources are accurate, this song actually represents kind of a neat, like, lightning in a bottle kind of moment for Lorien and Alice, like learning to work together. Instead of it being one of the last, I think this was actually one of the first things that they sat and worked on together. And allegedly it flowed really smoothly, and here we are with an amazing soundtrack. So I thought that was just a neat reason to have it on. But getting into the song itself, it's also a very more conventional, sad, tragic track, especially with that beginning, just quiet, held vocals at the beginning, not even with lyrics. Just had a big impact for me, at least. And this music is, of course, associated with the Paintress. And the main places you'll probably remember hearing it are the cutscene, like right around fighting the Paintress, and in one kind of sad, maybe a little confusing phase of fighting the Paintress.
God, that one killed me.
When she casts like protect or something on Verso, I was like, oh no,
yeah,
emotional damage. Not dodgeable.
There's so many, Like, we've all played enough RPGs where I'm like, no, this has to be one of those fights where I'm not supposed to attack, but you have to. And I'm like, I can't do it.
And then
you
see what happens next, and you're like, oh God, she was doing that because she knew what was going to happen.
Yeah. Funny side note, just to not be so depressing. Again, I said I keep bringing up that I've been watching someone stream it. I remember struggling with that, where I'm like, oh, she's just healing me. Everyone's healed to full. She won't attack. She's laying on the ground. I'm like, I can't. Like, I just kept skipping turns to see if anything would happen.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, I'm watching this streamer, and he's like, oh man, that's so sad. And then he goes over to Verso, and the first thing he does is use Verso's skill Endbringer. And I'm like, okay. we approach this very differently.
That's sad. We need to end it as soon as possible.
Yes.
Like my RPG brain is like, no, I need to not hit her so I can get the true ending.
Right.
I've done the Cecil fight.
Right?
That's what it is. It's Final Fantasy IV players know.
Yeah.
By the way, another one whose lyrics I only looked up today.
Yep.
Yeah. Wild. Look those up.
Very specific.
Look up that translation if you haven't. There's nothing subtle about what the lyrics are.
It is specifically about Verso, well, certain family members and Alina in that moment and what they want her to do.
Exactly. And like everything else, like I appreciate like the boldness of spoiling things in the plot. In the lyrics, although at this point, this one isn't so bad.
I mean,
you don't know yet, but like you're close enough.
No, you're really close. Like Verso specifically says, I watched the cutscene, something like it's time to go home, or like something.
Yeah. Man. Anyway, it's good. Her. I know I keep saying things are tragic, but that's just because they are. Like, you can't not feel for her. I think they do that. They set that up so well in the game. Like, it's pretty early on. I forget the first moment where I'm like, is the Paintress bad? And I'm just like, there's always this doubt. I'm like, I understand what's going on, or at least what everyone thinks is going on, and that she's quote unquote killing people or whatever. I'm like, there's something there though. Yep. And like, by the time you get to the monolith, I'm like, this is not right.
Yeah.
I'm so sad in this moment, and I don't even know why yet.
I feel like that seed of doubt was planted for me. Like the moment I saw the big Paintress's posture, just like curled in
Hunched over,
completely
yeah.
in on herself. I'm like,
But-
what is going on?
And to your credit, to like what you were saying before this, like Alice, that just the way she sings it, like it's so, the emotion is so powerful.
Yeah.
In the way she sings it in her performance. Like you, by the time you're done here, you understand that she has been grieving for so long, and like how much has like come out of that, and like she like the fact that this was like recorded early without, before going through everything else is actually even more impressive.
Yeah.
Like she's got that emotion so well.
And there's some like slightly lighter tones and runs in the song that are almost like that. It's sort of like when you are stuck in your grief, and you have just kind of like those glimmers of maybe
Yes, like
moving towards something
The
else.
pizzicato part, that was what I was thinking for that. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, I think that if you're even like comparing this song to Alicia, which is already a very melancholic song, like I hadn't listened to this song a lot, because even though I fought the paintress a lot, I skipped the cutscene because so I hadn't heard it a ton outside of just listening to it on my own, and like thinking about like the depth and the sadness of the cello, which is a great instrument for capturing sadness, of course.
Yep.
It just gets to it, and like there's like a lack. There's not like even like a touch of like there's some lightness, as you're saying, but like it's like a break from the grief. It's not like there's any hopefulness to it. It is just like this intense like fragility in the way that it's coming across. And I think that, as you said, Alice in her voice communicates that so well, but also I think the way that the really beautiful opening and the really beautiful cello, but it's like beautifully sad. It's like soft, delicate, but really fragile. And I think it captures her character really well.
Yeah, the fragility is so important to bring up.
Yeah, because like there's plenty of like emotional moments on this OST, like just softer, kind of sadder moments. But like this one, just like the word that comes to mind is just like a tenderness. It's like you can really feel like a mother's love sort of tenderness shining through in this track. Yeah, which is like really gives it its more unique character compared to like some of the other emotional sad themes. And yeah, it's rough.
And then I think about Alina's relationship with Alicia, and that makes me even sadder because it's not at all the same or what is reflected in this song. And it's so sad.
Yeah, I mean, I think that, not to get into the plot too much, but I think that her anger with Alicia is still not resolved, right?
Yeah.
So right.
Yeah. Whereas Renoir handles that better, because, as I always say, Renoir was right, both of them.
Yeah. Well, I want to go play again.
Always a good call.
Got to finish the Flying Manors, though.
Yay.
I mean, we aren't talking about it, but there's the super epic secret boss. His track is sort of a take on Une Vie, and ooh, it's so freaking good. Just wait for it. It's also a very Souls fight.
Yeah,
I'm sure Aleks did that fight, but yeah.
I'm afraid of that one.
I played it before they patched Stendhal, so I literally didn't have to even try, and I just one-shotted him. So it wasn't like
that's what I heard. Yeah,
that wasn't like I tried to build for it. I just was like I used basic logic, and it broke the game.
So the ability that in one of my recent fights did 1.4 million damage, this is the weaker version of it.
Yes.
Stendhal was nerfed heavily. Yeah.
That's nuts.
It deleted bosses without, again, trying.
All right. Well, that brings us to the end of our episode. Thank you all for being here. As you can all tell, the three of you and anyone listening, like I don't get tired of talking about this. We finished the game more recently than a lot of people, so it's still very, very much on my mind, and it's just one of the best experiences I've ever had.
It's truly a phenomenal game.
Yep.
It's unbelievable.
It's something special. I've kind of gone back and forth the last 8 months. Like, is it my favorite game? And the answer is yes. So
Yes.
yeah.
Really?
It
Okay.
just is.
Same.
Yeah. And it's funny because the soundtrack, as amazing as it is maybe like reason 5 on the list. So
Right?
crazy. I mean, it's like Nier Automata too, right? Like soundtrack of Nier Automata, like it's reason 5 that it's one of my 3 favorite games.
Actually, can I share a little bit of an aside, but still is related to the game?
Yeah.
So my friend's sister turned 33 this year.
Oh, yeah.
And is also a huge fan of the game. And made a video of herself and her cat in like little berets and striped shirts.
Like
She's
the baguette outfit.
The baguette outfit, basically. And she's sipping wine next to the window with her cat and made this video of her gamaging for her 33rd birthday.
Phenomenal. I love that.
Yeah, so yes, again, thank you everyone. This was a great time. Unsurprisingly, games that made their debut on this episode is none, because this has been on the show before several times because of you, Hilary.
I've been pushing this music since the beginning.
I mean, how could you not? But yeah, coming up next on Rhythm Encounter, we are doing our Jola Book of Flood. Yes, cool.
Go with that.
The Yule Book Flood.
Yule Book Flood.
The English is much easier to say. Episode celebrating the Icelandic tradition of gifting and reading books on Christmas Eve. So we're going to do an episode about like RPG music that you can pair with your book reading. And then after that, it'll be time for another new music episode. So we'll be talking about new music from the last 3 months of 2025. So look forward to those. And I think after that, we're doing Music of the Year. Or if not right after that, soon after that. So we have a lot of good stuff coming up. If you have thoughts on this episode, any topic ideas, anything you want to share with us, you can reach the show and me at music@rpgfan.com. How can people reach you, Hilary?
Email's best, hilary@rpgfan.com.
And Zach?
Email's probably best for me, zachw@rpgfan.com, but I'm also on RPG Fans Discord as Zach W.
Awesome. And how about you, Aleks?
You can email me at alexfraniczek@gmail.com.
All right. Well, if you enjoyed this episode of Rhythm Encounter, we are, of course, not the only podcast on the RPG Fan Podcast Network. We also have Random Encounter and Retro Encounter. Random Encounter posts every other Monday, opposite of our show. And their most recent episode, they talked to a couple of our reviewers about Dispatch, a really cool looking game from former Telltale employees. I want to check that out. And they also talked about Detective Instinct, Farewell, My Beloved. So if you're into narrative and graphic adventure games, do check out the most recent episode of Random Encounter. Over on Retro Encounter, actually, I'm going to let you talk about that, Zach, if you're good with that.
I am perfectly happy to do that. So the last episode of Retro Encounter, which we actually haven't recorded yet, is a Dragon Quest tier list episode. I don't know how it's going to go, except for that I'm definitely going to make sure that Aleks doesn't get any of his picks.
Why does everybody always pick on me?
Because you put Final Fantasy IX like in C tier or something last time.
Yeah, that's because
the
you
Final
put
Fantasy
Final Fantasy VIII in D tier.
I didn't do that.
Well, you agreed with it, though.
Yeah, I did.
By the way, favorite Final Fantasy of the Expedition 33 developers.
Yeah,
Boom.
yeah.
And Verso.
Boom.
And Gunstar, yeah.
Again, the developers are allowed to be wrong, as they are about Lost Odyssey.
Oh, what did they say about Lost Odyssey?
It was
They
a
like
big
it.
inspiration. Yeah, they like it.
Yeah,
Oh, I figured
the
that.
director
Yeah.
said it was the last game that made him cry.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
It made me cry too, but for different reasons. Anyway, so the next episode of Retro Encounter is going to be, we used to do a year in review for like the current year, but we're moving that over to Random, so that'll be coming up soon on Random. So we're going to do a 1995 year in review. We're going to look back at all the RPGs that were released in 1995, talk about just sort of like where the industry was at the time. So looking forward to that.
Awesome. I love that. The year in review, I think, is a lot of fun anyway, but I like a retro spin on it and just picking older years.
Yeah.
I still want to do that at some point with like some Music of the Year features, because we only started running those in 2012. So 1995 is definitely one of the years I was thinking like we should just do a retro Music of the Year and talk about this stuff.
It'd be fun.
Yeah. All right. You can find RPG Fan, links to our content, our podcast, everything else on most social media. You can find links for those in our show notes. We're also on YouTube and we have a Discord. Our website is rpgfan.com. You can find our shop with merch at rpgfan.com/shop. So all of your RPG fan branded merch is there for you. Please buy a lot of it. Thank you. And if you enjoyed this show and want to help support us, you can leave a review or a comment or a subscription, whatever it is you do on Apple Podcasts or YouTube or wherever it is you get your podcasts. We would appreciate that. Any of that, likes, comments, subscriptions, all that helps get the show out there and help us battle the algorithm so more people can find and listen to the show and listen to fantastic music like we had today. As always, we are going to go out today with a bonus track. I decided that I want a bonus track this time, but what I wanted to do is some of my favorite collection of songs in this game are all this snowy areas. Really, really beautiful. So what we're closing out with is one of the Monoco Station songs. This is Twirling Voices. So please enjoy. We will see you in a few weeks for our Yule Book Flood episode. Again, Hilary, Zach, Aleks, thank you so much for being here. It was great talking to you, especially
Thanks for
about
having
this
us.
game.
Yeah, I need as many opportunities to talk about this
Same.
game as possible.
Same.
Yeah.
That's why I'm hosting the year in review on random. I'm just going to talk about Clair Obscur for an hour and a half.
Beautiful.
Perfect.
All right. Well, thanks, everyone. Here is Twirling Voices. Before we get to Act 2, I'm going to give everyone one more warning.